Welcome back to Nesson.com. Sammy P, three-time Super Bowl champ, Matt Chatham, our Nesson football analyst. And Matt, I'm getting a little bit sad. I look at the betting boards, only 6 games in Wild Card Weekend. And I know, man, you are dialed into the props. What jumps off the page for you?
Well, there are some ones I think in this market that will be tantalizing. You see Brady at a 250 number for yards over under. You might be tempted to go that route. There's the running back question because I think we got a lot of good ones involved this weekend. Who's going to be sort of your leading guy? Is it going to be Henry, potentially Chubb in a game that might be very run heavy, but he gets cannibalized there a little bit potentially by Kareem Hunt, J.K. Dobbins in Baltimore. There's a lot of good running backs this weekend, so you could throw some money at one of those. But one that stuck out to me was actually a pass catching back for the Washington football team here facing Brady's Bucks, and it's J.D. McKissic, and the number on him was 4.5 receptions, and I thought the reason that it sort of jumped more to my plate is because it's more of a one note. He's actually been a guy who's gotten 10 target games 3 of the last 5 weeks. He's had some huge opportunity games when Alex Smith has been the quarterback, and I think game script really leads you to this, the notion that they may very well be in a shootout type game and they're not a high flying offense, but if they're in chase mode relative to what Tampa's done on the other side, the opportunity for those dump off passes, it's not going to be a lot of yards. That's why it's the catch number. The over on the 4.5 for McKissic, getting him into a number of 5, 6, and 7, that's on the norm. So unless something here really regresses relative to his regular season, I think he's going to easily hit over that 4.5. That's where I'll roll.
And we know Washington wants no part of a shootout, and we know that the quarterbacks in Washington love to check it down left and right, which plays into my favorite bet. I love the under 45 in Tampa, Washington, and you know the deal. You played with Brady. You know how to make Brady uncomfortable. Muddy up that pocket and put pressure up the middle. Allen, Payne, Sweat, Chase Young can put pressure on that offensive line and make Brady a little uncomfortable. I think this game is 27-13, 28-10. Tampa should pull away, but I like the under 45 a whole lot. I don't see many points in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Sam. I think part of this is really just game style, and I think Washington pulls them down rather than Tampa pulling them up. I don't think this ends up. We're in the playoffs now. We're not going to look at Tampa's Week 11 game or something like that where they end up in the mid 40s kind of thing. I think this is really one of those tight contests that, as you mentioned, Tampa puts an extra one on there late and goes ahead and covers. But I don't think we should be looking for Washington behind Alex Smith and this group of guys to somehow end and be a mid-20s number themselves. I just don't see that happening.
I have one final question. How many rushing yards for Derrick Henry this weekend?
Game script matters too much. That's why I stayed away from that prop. I believe the number was 120-ish, but he's the kind of guy where you can go for 250 or you can go for 90, 110, 120 in the event that that Tennessee's in chase mode. So we don't know, so I stayed away from it.
That's the highest total on the board. There's a reason it's 54-55. 10 years ago, this total might be 44, but these offenses are very good. Tennessee, the number 1 over team in the NFL. I'm Sammy P. He's Matt Chatham. We'll see you next weekend for the divisional round right here. Keep it posted to Nesson.com.